You know, I'm Challenger, I have no life, and I'm Korean, so I probably can get rank 1. Last time on Dragon Balls in My Mouth, we were at 447 LP, and now we actually have some back-to-back games with PewDiePie. There's gonna be 3 in a row, so expect to see a lot of games with him today. Now, some people have said Diamond 1 and Diamond 2 players are better than me, and I don't even deserve Challenger. Well, to those fucking apes, I'm gonna prove them wrong by getting somewhere so far high up in the ladder, and I'll fucking rub it in their faces. Well, actually I can't really do that because I live on the internet, but to the people who watch it and like the series, thank you for supporting me in the series. To the haters, honestly you guys probably enjoyed the series as well, so thank you guys for also supporting me. Even if you think I suck, that's fine, but I'll eventually show you guys what I'm capable of. So yeah, people who call me bad, they actually fuel my fire a lot, and to prove them kind of wrong. So big thanks going to everyone. But anyways, let's talk about this game. So I'm off to a good start. The enemy jungler is shit because, well, actually he's in his off row, and he's more of a mid laner, plays a lot of, Yasuo or meta champions, so I mean, I don't blame him, but he's just making some mistakes and I'm punishing him for them. I'm also going to point out, in this game, the enemy had a full AD comp, so unless we lose early game or somehow get a bad team fight in the mid game or late game, we'll lose the game. Now right here is a pretty stupid and cocky move I do, because I do feel like I'm super fed so I can do something like this. Unfortunately, there's a lot more damage than I anticipated, and I'm not that tanky yet. Although, it is a 1v2 situation, and that's usually never a good idea unless you have a lot of damage and are really fed. So right here is a 3v5 situation. I personally am a bitch and I don't want to fight them all. Probably would have killed Graves, but I also would have died. Now Karma's coming in and she's cutting them all off, and they're all really low so I can re-enter this team fight. And also Talia is coming in from the base. And now my E comes off cooldown, and they're all really low so I can kill them all. And apparently PewDiePie was sticking around, so with my ghost I can definitely catch up to him. And I also have tier 2 boots while he has no boots, so this is a really easy chase for me. And then I also see Graves, who's also quite low, and my E is actually coming out cooldown in about 2 seconds, so this is going to be an easy chase, and he dies while also popping his flash. So that was like the biggest turnaround, and ulting away from everyone, was it a good idea? It's hard to say, but I think I made the right choice. And now in this team fight, I go pretty ham on PewDiePie, just because it's really easy for Hecarim to go in their back line and kill them. But in this team fight, I actually thought I could tank a little bit more, but I didn't realize that Trundle had ulted me, so I wasn't as tanky as I thought, and I think I should have backed away after getting the kill on Jhin, because giving a shutdown to the enemy team is never a good thing, so you want to be a little bit more safer. But yeah, I'm just camping PewDiePie right now because Jhin is a really easy target, since Jhin has 0 escapes and, is prone to getting dived on. And since I know that I have 157 armor, I can turret dive this Braum easily, and yeah, he's going to be an easy second kill. Now right here we want to contest the Mountain Dragon, but we never expected them to do Baron because we saw Jhin and Braum in the bot side jungle, but unfortunately I'm way too late to this Baron, but I'm going to try and get a few kills since they're really low. And you might be wondering why I took Skirmishers this game. It's because I kind of want to carry and do some damage, otherwise I would have went Stalker's Smite. But you can see my team is getting caught out right now. But all we have to do is stall out their Baron, and just group up as 5 and not get picked, and we'll probably win. But I do have 204 armor, so I can do whatever I want. And you'll see me stack more armor since their team is full AD. And now I'm just trying to kill PewDiePie right here, and you can see me charging my E into him, but I don't know who's behind him, and I don't know if he has heal or flash or some bullshit, so I just take the easier kill on Graves, but it's more worth to take the Jhin, but it would have been a little bit more riskier to go for him. Alright, so this is a 4v5 because Caitlyn got picked again. I'm feeling beefy today, so I think we can win this. Unfortunately, Trundle does ult me, and you can see my 300 armor turn into 170, and it's still going down. I'm also getting Black Cleaver shredded, which is, again, hard to notice. And I think here would have been a better idea to go on to Jhin because he's more fed. But I go into Graves because I just wanted a low hit point target. But now we lost the 4v5, which isn't too bad, but we're kind of throwing our lead since we're getting picked and fighting weird fights. Now PewDiePie is the most fed on their team, but you can see he's on the bottom side of the map, and so I do want to get a pick on Graves, and I see my team is actually around me this time. So this is actually a good fight, but I probably should have ulted a little sooner, and right now I can't enter this team fight because I have the fear of getting nuked by Olaf or someone. So I'm just hanging back and waiting until my team shows up and the enemy starts to die down a little bit. With this, we do get the Baron buff, and now I'm just looking to see if the red buff is up for me to take. And you know, there's a Jhin right here, but I don't know where his teammates are, and most of my teammates are actually back, so this is not a good engage. And at this point in the game, you don't have to go for picks, you just have to group as 5 and just play it safe, and you'll eventually win the game. And with the Baron buff and grouping as 5, you can see we're sieging down this turret and just fought them straight up, and we won the fight. And that also makes us win the game. And then we also face him again. So in this game they had a Malzahar top, and I really wanted to camp him since he's a really easy target, and it works out pretty well. After 2 kills, I feel like my Echo is fine in the top lane, and he can probably solo kill him. And also I feel like the value of Malzahar is going down a little bit, so I decided to gank other lanes. And as you can see, this game is snowballing out of control. Every lane is ahead except our bot lane. I think they're going even. And yeah, this game is going pretty nicely if I do say so myself. And I'm really fed, so I can do whatever I want on the map. Right here, I don't really want to do this, since you can see some MIAs on the map, but it would potentially be a 3v3 under tower or 3v4. And you know, that's a risk we don't want to take, but our Zed does go in, so I'm trying to help him. And I'm trying to go in these tunnels, but these minions are actually blocking me. And I think I'm going to die here, so I just output as much damage as I can, but I do get a nice peel from our support Talia. Next up, we siege the top lane as a 3-man, so any sort of dive is stupid because we don't know where the enemies are, but I do get baited to go for the Victor, and I don't realize he has a Zhonya's, so I get fucked because Malzahar is suppressing me. Either way, this dive is dumb because we're only a 3-man, and the only thing we needed to do is to attack the tower. And as you saw, 5 members of the enemy team showed up. So diving right there is stupid, and I probably shouldn't have followed the Echo. But right here, we're just doing a little picks. We're kind of as 5, but Corki is a little bit behind. But this is still safe since Victor is in the bot lane, so we don't have to worry too much. And we get 3 kills, which means we get the Baron. Next up is going to be a little team fight where Corki is dead. So it's a 4v5 from the beginning. So it's definitely not the best idea, but we fight it anyways because it was such a good pick. At least to me. And I also feel like my team is pretty powerful and I'm pretty tanky. Unfortunately, this team fight is not looking too hot. Although, I think Zed could have got maybe a triple kill right here, but he said he didn't use his Blade of the Rune King. And you can see the throws are starting to happen. But then the enemy throws their comeback, and then we go for Baron. Now right here, I'm just looking up and down on the map, just in case an Ezreal ult is coming or not, so I always think of what could steal this Baron. You know, such possibilities as enemy global ultimates, the enemy jungler is behind the Baron pit, or just anything, you know, that has to do with stealing the Baron. Now, I want to kill this Braum, but I didn't think something like this would happen. And we do trade 2 for 2, and I respawn and we get the inhibitor. And then we hit the top lane, and then we get that. Corki goes in, I say, hey, let's engage, but then I guess that wasn't an engage. A little bit afterwards, we do get this dragon, and I think we have a lot of dragons in our pocket, so the true damage is quite high, I think. So all I want to do is poke the enemy with my Q, you know, do some true damage, but I think a team fight breaks out. So I go on whoever my team is focusing at the moment, and then I get an easy kill on Victor, but my team is dying. I'm like, oh shit, we lost this team fight. But I didn't realize that Corki was still alive, and I was like, oh, we won the team fight. Okay, that's good. And then this sick combo happens with me and Talia, and I was like, oh, that looked fucking sexy, and we win the game. Alright, so this is going to be the last game with PewDiePie, and we'll also be facing Anibot in the mid lane, and also the reason I went into their jungle was because our top lane thought Kha'Zix did my top side of the jungle, so I was like, okay, I'm going to invade his side of the jungle, and then I noticed that Veigar is really low, so this is going to be an easy dive, and he doesn't have flash, so I just kind of tackle him and he dies. Now our mid laner is having some trouble and I see that, so I gotta rescue him. And then the enemy starts TPing, so I gotta get out of here. But then Gangplank comes back, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back in. Gangplank does get him, but unfortunately our Ziggs dies. Now I camp mid lane because Veigar is actually a really easy champion to camp, and since my R can actually go through the wall, it's very easy for me to knock him back into my teammates. So Anibot is on my high priority list to camp, just because he's really easy to kill. Now this top lane gank is kinda weird. I go into the cannon, which is probably the best idea, and I probably would have killed him. You know, actually I would have killed them both, but then our Gangplank pings Kha'Zix and I go for him. But honestly, if I kept chasing the cannon, I probably would have got a double kill. And this is where one of those things where listening to teammates got me killed. So sometimes you just gotta believe in your decisions and just be confident on what you're doing and your playstyle. Anyways, this game snowballed to the point where we're already at their inhibitor tower. And right here, what I just did, it's you know, just me being cocky and be like whatever. But it's definitely like the worst idea you could ever do, because there's no point. You put yourself at risk at dying from an enemy team, whereas taking a tower, you can get the option to disengage if you want and not risk dying. So choose the tower, don't choose the kill. But yeah, instead of going for the inhibitor tower, I say, you know what, it's time to try and go for the top tower. So since I have Skirmisher Saber, I can definitely 2v2 with this Nami against the Janna and Kennen. And we eventually do get the top tower, but fast forward a little team fight breaks out and I want to come in. Now, for some reason, I really wanted to kill PewDiePie because it would look super funny while he's ulting and I just come straight at him. So that's why I do this. Otherwise, it's actually a really bad idea to do that in a team fight scenario. And here, I don't really want to go in because it's only the 3 of us, so I'm like, but then the Nami ult hits, so I'm like, okay, I'm going in. I also ignored Janna's ultimate, but I didn't realize that until looking at this clip again. And then we actually do the Baron because Kha'Zix is dead, but there's actually too much poke coming from the enemy, so we stopped doing it. Now, looking at this clip, I forgot why I insisted on wanting to do it a little bit more, but then I knocked back Kennen so he doesn't kill my teammates. But talking about a little bit before they came in, what Ziggs should have actually done was zone them from coming to the Baron with his E and Q instead of helping us in the Baron. That way we can, you know, get a little breathing room to start the Baron and do it. Unfortunately, I don't think he knew that's what he should have been doing. But I probably should have said something before we started the Baron. With a few picks though, we do start the Baron again. But you can see this Kha'Zix wants to go for a steal, so look what my team does. Everyone knows they have to turn on the Kha'Zix or else the Baron will get stolen. You know, everyone's on the same page that if the enemy jungler is around and he's in the Baron pit, kill him first before we do the Baron. Now we do get a nice push on the top lane, and then we start pushing the bottom lane because, you know, super minions are pushing in top lane, but then I go for a pick onto Kha'Zix, which almost works. But then Kennen gets a huge ass ultimate onto my team. So we get baited by the Kha'Zix, and yeah, my team loses this team fight, but we do get some kills off it, and it doesn't go too bad, but it's still pretty bad since we're ahead. And also Ziggs wasn't there, so from the beginning it was a bad fight. But then Lucian gets a nice pick onto PewDiePie, and you know, I'm thinking Baron, but the members of my team are pretty far away, so instead, we just go into the bot lane to get the inhibitor. I say, hey, you know what, let's initiate right here. And it wasn't a good initiation, but Gangplank actually had a really nice barrel combo into them, so it worked out in the end, but it's definitely a really sloppy initiation, and I can definitely see that that might not work in future situations. And yeah, that was the 3 games with PewDiePie, but we still got a little more to go in this video. So we're going for a turret dive, but we don't have any minions, and I guess it would take a while until the minions would get here, so my team rushed in. And it's kind of a good idea if Malzahar didn't get binded because he had the spell shield to tank 1 tower shot, but he does get binded, so that sucks, and yeah, we trade 2 for 3. Good job us, you can even see myself patting myself on the back. But don't worry, I feed this game. But then a team fight breaks out, and I'm like, oh shit. But I do try and chain the CC onto Hecarim with my arrow, and the team fight kind of looks lost right now, so I don't want to fight, and I heal instantly when I see Lee Sin Q's me, because he does have Ignite, but we do take him down pretty fast, and you know, I'm like, I gotta get out of here, but apparently my Braum still has his ultimate, Malzahar is actually still up in the back line, and I come back in to kill the DC'd Talia. So you know my tactic, feeding in the beginning always works and I get a free win. Boy do I love getting carried by my teammates, because they always give me free LP and I fucking love it. But I'll give compliments, the Riven was actually a really good team player. And you know, mechanically, I'd say he's as good as Boxbox, but Boxbox doesn't really play around his team. He plays more of a solo carry whenever he plays Riven, at least from what I remember when I watched him play Riven, although that was a pretty long time ago. But if Boxbox was more of a team player, I think he'd be a really good player. But now we'll talk about this Hecarim game. So in this game I actually went more of a farm heavy Hecarim because I couldn't really find any ganks. Except this one, but haha, oops, I clicked a minion and right clicked it. So oopsie. But it doesn't even matter because we have too much damage. Now a noob would go right, but I go left because I know an enemy team just killed my Jhin. Like there's 3 members in a bot lane. So I say fuck the bot side, I'm going to the top side. And then somehow Rumble gets low, so I just pick him up. And man, do I ever love this combo, you know, the R and then E combo to knock him into your team, it just feels so good, especially when they buffed Hecarim's E to knock back to 450 distance if you have it at max charge. And now right here, my team is getting a little caught, but we do have a Shen to ult in, and Jhin is on the side coming in, while also I'm coming in on the side as well, and I'm surprised the Thresh didn't die. But I see the team fight is going pretty well, so I say, you know what, it's time to all in. I have 1 stack of my Q so I can keep rampaging onto an enemy team and doing a lot of DPS. So basically, I'm just trying to chase people down, and I get a triple kill. Right after this team fight, the enemy actually surrenders, so that lands us another win, and we're now at 528 LP. But now on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, we'll be playing Graves with Ghost, and we'll also be playing with Darshan, who I've not played yet with, and California Rolls. And you're probably wondering why I took Ghost. Honestly, it was because he took Ghost, so I was like, you know what, Ghost is really fun, I'ma fucking take it. But, you know, it might hinder my performance on Graves, or it might not. You'll just have to find out on the next episode of Dragon Balls in My Mouth. Anyways, if you guys did like this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you didn't, make sure to subscribe. Anyways, I am Panzer Dragon, and I'll see you guys next time.